I'm Emma Hammett from First Aid for Life, and today I wanted to talk to you just briefly about recent concerns following a study in the Environmental Science and Technology Journal that raised concerns about the safety of toys, second-hand toys in particular. So they looked at 200 toys taken from homes, charities, second-hand shops and nurseries in the southwest of England. They were trying to work out if older plastic second-hand toys pose a safety risk to children. And they were checking for the presence of 9 hazardous chemicals. And in particular, they were worried about chromium, selenium and lead. And 20 of the 200 toys they tested contained all 9 of those hazardous chemicals. And most of them wouldn't meet the current safety standards with the European Council's Toy Safety Directive. And these guidelines on chemicals have been in effect since 2013. So we're talking about toys pre-2013. They're not worried about you handling the toys, they're worried about children chewing them. So should children put them in their mouth or chew them repeatedly, they thought that that would then be chronically toxic and could be quite serious for those children. I think it's something that we should all be aware of because we love heirlooms and some of the old toys are really nostalgic and they're great to have, but just make sure that they are safe. So the advice when buying second-hand toys or when fishing out, sort of going to Granny's house and looking at all those lovely toys that we used to play with and people have played with through the generations is lovely. But just remember, they won't have been subject to today's rigorous safety tests, and they also won't have an age recommendation. The key things to avoid are old Lego bricks from the 70s and 80s. There's the chap, Dr. Andrew Turner, who did the study, found that in particular the red, the yellow and the black bricks contained really high levels of the chromium, selenium in particular. So do avoid those coloured bricks, and I would throw them, to be honest. If they're not safe, let's not have them in the house. There's plenty of other colours that you can be playing with. Be careful when you're looking at toys with small parts, and in particular soft toys, their eyes, just make sure that they are safely secured in there. With painted toys, many of the older painted toys had lead in the paint. So again, be very careful with that, and if any of the paint is flaking off, then either put them on a very high shelf if you don't want to get rid of them altogether, but definitely put them out of reach of small children. They are no longer a toy at that point. Any toys wearing clothes, they're not likely to be flame resistant. I'll go into how to clean them and things in a couple of seconds. But toys wearing clothes, they're not going to meet today's safety and fire safety standards. If you have a toy that needs a battery to operate it, make sure you can get into that battery compartment. Make sure that if there's a little screw in there that it hasn't got rounded off and it's not rusted in there. And if there are any signs of corrosion whatsoever, then please throw that toy away. There are 2 well-known symbols that can be found on toy labels. The lion mark was introduced in 1988 by the British Toy and Hobby Association, and that shows that the toy is has been under rigorous tests and is now got a quality standard of safety and quality. So the lion mark is the one you should be looking for. There's also the CE mark, which is a trading standards mark, which says that the supplier has said that they meet toy safety standards. So it's the line mark that you really want to be concentrating on. Couple of last things. How should you clean these second-hand toys? I mean, they are unlikely to be hygienically clean when you find them or you fish them out of the drawer or whatever. They may be grubby, they may be germy. So To clean them, you can probably wipe them over with a disinfectant-based product and put them out to dry. I would suggest that you put them through the washing machine. If they don't survive, they don't survive. If you're going to use it as a toy, then it needs to be safe enough to be played with properly, and you want it clean right through. And put them in a pillowcase as well when you are when you're washing them. And for hard toys, you can rub them, remove any batteries, rub it over really carefully with a disinfectant based. If it's things like bricks, so plastic bricks and things, then you can put them in a pillowcase and wash them in the washing machine. And again, you know, they should survive. If they're a toy, you don't want them brittle, you don't want them to be dangerous. So I hope that's been useful. You know, it is lovely to be able to play with our toys, but just make sure that everyone stays safe. That's Emma Hammett from First Aid for Life.